Hello, hello,
Hello.
guys, and welcome, welcome, welcome. So, we are finally here. We are finally gonna be talking about the SAL, the Southeast Asia League. And my name is Dax, and joining me are some of the best from the community. We got Palapates over there of Ice Boy Production, joined by Rio, of course. Say hi, guys.
Boom!
Nice.
Ay,
The
perfect.
soundboard is there. The soundboard is there. So ABP bringing in the tunes and doing a really good job at last time. And of course, Mr. Commissioner himself on my other side. Here we go with DLS Mizzle.
What's up, guys?
So hello, hello,
Anong
Welcome,
hello.
klaseng anong klaseng
welcome.
intro yun?
Oh
What's
my
up,
god, what's
guys?
up,
What the heck?
guys? We're
What
so
the
Walang
heck?
soundboard.
we're here. We're gonna be getting into a
Walang
live chat
soundboard.
session of the SEA League, the Seal. So, first question: how's been the Seal so far, you two?
Well, from my perspective as the play-by-play caster, the action was really action-packed. Both of the series against Singapore and Malaysia went up to game number 7, and also the Philippines versus Vietnam went up to game number 7 as well. So both beautiful outputs coming in from all of the countries so far. So with the tournament lives hanging on onto the side of Philippines and Malaysia, it is going to be a little bit more interesting. Siyempre, maglalaro ako bukas eh. Kaya, let's go.
Right.
But yeah, it really has been, it really, it's really been good. So, ikaw naman, Ryu, ano masabi mo sa mga games natin nung Saturday, Sunday?
Well, for me, same yung sentiment pagdating dun sa games. It was exciting, but also from the casting side, it was really fun, and I was very excited to try out yung mga soundboards na gusto namin subukan ni Vic since nung first cast pa lang namin. Tapos na-try na namin siya last weekend. So, it was very fun.
Ayun, no. See,
Mm-hmm.
look at these guys finding something that'll work for them. Parang, lahat ng mga big productions, di ba, parang may music bigla when introducing
Oo.
player. ABP bringing in the prod right there. So, I got a question. So, who's the one, in charge of the soundboard, and how do you guys do it?
Well, si Ryu ang in charge sa soundboard. Pero ako nagturo sa kanya, like pinakita ko yung mga samples ng ESL, ng GSL, and with that, tinanong rin namin yung mga players na on what kind of music do they like or parang ano yung gusto nilang intro. So that's why Team
Yeah.
Philippines has a lot
Yeah,
of
actually, ang maganda dun,
Team Philippines has a lot of interesting
yeah,
intros
I
and
mean,
especially Team Vietnam too. So yun.
I love it. I love seeing all of that. Oops, there. If I press minimize on Discord, you guys disappear. So I'll keep you over there instead. But I was really fun. I remember there was a certain clip that we will be showing later on that did make
Mhm.
some waves. But let's reel it back a little bit and let's talk about the Southeast Asia League itself. So for now, I'm gonna be showing you guys on to our side over here the rosters of the Southeast Asia League. There we go. We have the Malaysian, the Philippine, the Singaporean, and Vietnamese rosters who did participate in week one and who will be participating in the second weekend. So, my question here is how did these teams actually form up to bring us the Southeast Asia League?
I guess that question is for
well,
you,
it
Mr. Mizel.
started when, yeah. It started when there was this night, Extinct, you know Extinct, right? So, he messaged me and he was like, hey, do you still want to do the clan wars and stuff? And I was like, yeah, sure. Connect me to these guys. And then he created a Facebook channel for me and Nameless from Singapore. And then after that, it just went like a domino effect. I get to talk to Malaysia's neutrals, from Vietnam's Mio Maika and Justice Simon, and then there, I just shared with them my idea of the tournament, and then gathered some feedback inputs, and then finally we came up with Seal,
Yeah.
which is happening. Yeah.
That's
Mm.
happening right now, and it was an amazing first weekend. But looking at these rosters for the SEAL or the SEAL, I gotta ask you, how did these rosters even show up in the first place? Who made these rosters? Who picked who would be on the main roster? Who would be on the reserves and all the like? And do you think like each country has brought the best in them to represent their country in the Southeast Asia League?
Okay, so for Philippines, yeah, of course. Um, I picked the best players from the Philippines since quarantine tournament. People were asking how did you form up these guys? I was like, it's basically I get the best players from gold to diamond tournament. Those who only performed really well. And then for masters, what I did was I just asked them if they're free on these schedules. And then that I think for Malaysia and the other countries, they just did it all by themselves.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. So it really just
Yeah,
goes to show there's so much representation. And looking at some of these names, there are some really big guns there. And then you got, of course, the Philippines, Ender and Nux, the two best Zergs pretty much in the country. And you can even consider them within the region as well. On to many, we have Mio Micah and Justice Simon on Vietnam side. Those are pretty scary players as well. Psycho is
yeah,
someone to take a note is of on the Singapore side, and of course you got Ranger Nefarious on to Malaysia. So those are already names off the bat that I'm looking at. And what makes a main team player a main team player, and what makes a reserve player a reserve player? Is it based on their availability or is it something else?
yeah. It's
Well, I guess
basically
on my
based on. Oh, sure. Go ahead, man. So,
on my perspective, it is based on my availability, since not to give, I know, not to compare myself to the other players, but statistically speaking, I am one of the highest ranked diamond players onto
Ooh.
our national team pool, but I was not able to play because I was casting the first fixture of the Southeast Asian League. So I guess it really is in terms of availability, because ESL also is happening on the side now. So take it away, Mr. Mizzle.
no, no,
Oh, why he disappear? Take it away,
Hide the
disappears.
camera.
Hide the camera. Just disappears. No, it's just a black screen. You can't really do anything about that. But
Take it away.
take it away. He disappears on us. But I'm really curious because looking at well some of these rosters already, Vic, and oh, seems like
Uh-huh.
yep, that's the disconnect that I said that if he does disconnect, he's gonna mess up the overlay right
Oh
there.
my
But
goodness.
it's okay.
Yeah.
So
No.
you're Mizzle now, Vic. That's pretty much it. So I gotta say though, I gotta ask because looking at some of these rosters, you got some of the best players on each country,
Hmm.
but they're in the
Yeah.
reserves, and I really think it's because of that ESL timing at the same time.
Yeah.
It was kind of last minutes
Hmm.
with the SEA setup that they
Hmm.
all came together there, and it really just depends on which one is your main competition. If I remember correctly, you
Hmm.
guys did start a little later than expected because of the qualifiers, right? So what happened there, Vic?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we kind of gave an hour leeway for our players at the same time, since they would be competing on the ESL Open qualifiers. So the qualifier, I think, started at around 9 a.m., and approximately, if you would reach the latter stages, since it also has a losers bracket on it, abutin talaga ng mga ganong oras, 2 or 3. So we move it a little bit later because of the ESL, to give a few adjustments and a little bit of leeway for our players too.
Yeah, exactly. So Mr. Mizzle is back, and you were saying you're explaining something about the reserve system, but we were just discussing how how ESL affected the schedule in the first place. So, and hello to everyone tuning on in.
yeah,
It's a little bit of a show right now. We're gonna be discussing a few points here and there of the SEA League before tomorrow's first day of the second weekend, of course, with the semifinals gonna be going on there. But yeah, Mr. Mizzle, back to your point. Main roster reserve. What is the difference there?
Okay. So, echoing what Malupait said, it's more of the schedule. Yeah. So since, like for example, Ender is busy with ESL, so he can't join us again tomorrow. But good thing we have the support of all the team members of Philippines. So expect to see Malupait to perform tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope he'll be doing the strats we've been practicing lately. Saipem will be added to the roster, and yeah, yeah, those two monster zergs will be joining us tomorrow.
Oh, it sounds pretty exciting. And speaking of them, well, we had an amazing first day. I mean, amazing second day. And can we actually talk about that as I'm gonna be looking for the image there? Since of course here Malapates, Ryu, and Mizzle were the ones in charge of that one. Could you just break it down what happened on the first day, especially when it was a little different because it was a matter of
Mm-hmm.
seeding rather than anything else?
Yeah, well, things got a little bit interesting with the tie situation. Um, Philippines won against Vietnam and Singapore and lost to Malaysia. Vietnam lost to Philippines but won against Singapore and Malaysia. And Singapore lost all the games. And yeah, Malaysia lost to Vietnam and winning against Philippines and Singapore. So it forced us to go for a three-way tie. But what is really astounding is that
Mhm.
pagkadating dun sa seeding, when we reach our final seeding, the first place Malaysia and the fourth place Singapore. Uh, Singapore kind of turned the tides around coming into the second day. So I think first day is really important, but it's not the end.
Yeah,
Like coming in fourth seed, they taken
Yeah.
down the number one seed. So it really
yeah.
has been filled with intricacies, especially with Singapore, surprising really everyone.
Yeah, and as we are transitioning over back to our three cam setup, I just want to ask, well, coming into the SAAL, do you think how do you think these teams actually got ready for such a setup like this? How do you think that these teams were getting ready to go in the first place? Because of course you have these four countries, four nations duking it out to see who is supreme in Southeast Asia, and it really feels like there has been a lot of preparation for that before we get into day number two.
Well, I just wanted to really keep this a secret since I'm acting as the analyst of the team too. But according to my scouting, the Malaysia people has been really playing with each other or being practice players with each other for a very long time now, since they are clanmates, and uh, some of them are my friends in game. So I keep seeing them on the custom, like when you're playing custom games, like they are all on it. So maybe they are practicing and watching each other, giving feedback. That is same with the Philippines and Vietnam, because Philippines has a weird timing on how we practice. We are considered
Yeah.
night shift gamers. We start at around 11 and end at around 5 a.m.
Yeah, it's
But
ridiculous.
yes,
It's ridiculous time.
uh, yeah, but same also with Team Vietnam. Mayo Micah, Justice Simon is online at around that time, playing ladder or maybe playing custom games with each other. So yeah, I guess each of the teams kind of have the same practice schedule. It all boils down on execution, I guess, on game day.
Yeah, and how about us, Mizzle? Especially since you're basically the commissioner not only in the league of the PH team, how did you get our PH players into shape for the Southeast Asia League?
Well, yeah, well, I think Malopit can answer that, but most of the time I just remind them, like every day I remind them about practice sessions. I keep updating them on
Yeah,
what will be the schedule, who will be fighting against us. And then the good thing about it is that they are very cooperative.
yeah, yeah,
And even shout out all the, what do you call it,
Yeah.
the scanning
Mm.
of each player. Yeah, so yeah, I really enjoy doing it.
Missile is just lagging out like usual. And it seems like he just wants to say that he's really enjoying how the PH committee has been working
uh
together.
huh,
And
uh huh,
in all honesty, it seems like it bore fruit because in the end, we were able to take the third seed out of everything. It was pretty dicey. And for day number two, well, it was Malaysia versus Singapore and then Vietnam versus Philippines. And let's check out those results actually because we were able to go through it over the weekend onto the IS Buhay Productions page with the Sad and all the like. And looking at these results, well, it was pretty interesting to say the least. It's a best of seven, the first to four, but everyone gets to play, everyone gets their game broadcast, and we'll see who was able to win it out there. So there you go, guys. There we have our results onto the side. Singapore winning its house 5-2, a huge upset against number one seed Malaysia. Now, in all honesty, it seems like all of our teams are pretty even, but in terms of seeding, seeing a fourth seed beats out a first seed like that is still something to consider. On the other side, a very close one versus Vietnam and Philippines, 4-3, and we got some really good winners right there into our results. So I gotta ask you guys, maybe any games that were worth mentioning in the Southeast Asia League?
Well, first onto the Singapore and Malaysia, Nefarious and Psycho was really a slugfest. And
Yeah. Yeah.
one good thing to point out too is Claire and Dark Void. It is a mech versus mech matchup, and you know how it goes if it's mech versus mech. It I think it reached around 30 minutes of just battle cruisers and tanks smothering each other.
Oh
And on to
my.
the Philippines and
Mhm.
on to the Philippines and Vietnam side too. We've got interesting games coming in onto the side of David Bain, showing us the magic of Protoss with those
Yeah.
magical force fields, and Achos and Skeletor. It was really a fun game, and also Two String and Gleg, anak ni Bakuko, really showing us those veteran moves from Brood War. And yeah, it was
Yeah.
really filled with action.
Brood one.
Mhm.
I'm glad. It seems like it was a good sweep there actually for Team Singapore. Psycho, Lazy Titan, Dark Void winning stats, and then got Yunter and Zheng able to at least bring it back a little bit for Malaysia, but Kingstar and Kaiser Soze wrapping it up 5-2 scoreline right there. And what was like the main story of Singapore versus Malaysia? It's like the battle of Peninsula. Everyone's loved seeing Singapore versus Malaysia. It's one of those games that you're like, oh, they're right beside each other. Singapore used to be part of Malaysia all the way went back then, but has proven to be a force to be reckoned with. And it goes to show that Singapore is no slouch in the Southeast Asia region. What was the overarching theme of that game?
Well, overall, the diamonds really showed up for them. Um, like I encountered them almost all of the time in the ladder, but really
Mhm.
transitioning their plays onto the tournament really well. Because most of them is high diamonds, if what I remember, like Diamond One already near in Masters. So I guess they really got the advantage in terms of experience, and also since we're talking about the nation's pride, during last weekend, I think it's Singapore's National Day, so a little bit of uplifting from their like to give a little bit of morale boost since it's their national day and also they're fighting for their country, so that gives a little bit of motivation, and yeah, they ended up getting that 5-2 win against the Malaysia.
How about you, Mizzle? Anything you noticed during that stream, during that match, Malaysia versus Singapore? Always a sight to see. Any specific race, perhaps? Because from what I remember, really in Singapore, it's dominated but dominantly by a lot of good Protoss players at the top. But seeing those rosters,
Yeah.
it's not. There's not too many of them. I'm not too sure though. Like they're not not all of them are here right now for the Southeast Asia League, but it's still Protoss a hell of a lot
Yeah.
for Singapore.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah,
Am I still
yeah. We
here?
can hear you. We can hear you, but don't worry. Oh no, Mizzle.
Oh no.
Oh
Oh
I
no.
no,
can't hear you guys.
Hello.
isa subtitle ko na lang, na joke lang.
Okay.
So while we're waiting for Mizzle,
Well,
there you go. You got this. You got it, Mizzle.
Bano.
Sir lags a
my
lot.
gosh,
Mizzle is
it's
really Sir
so
lags a
dumb.
lot. But hey, that's Philippine net for you, Mr. Commissioner. I don't even know how he's able to do his job like this if he's lagging so much. But I guess there you go. I think he's stabilized a little bit.
I think I'm back.
I think you're back. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
go
I'm
ahead.
back. Yeah. I think what I can remember now, what I can recall actually is that the battle between Nefarious versus Psycho. Since the first day of round robin, I think Psycho threw the match.
Ooh.
Do you agree with me, Lumalapay? I mean, like
uh
in the round robin, Psycho through the match, and then suddenly come Sunday, Psycho really did well against the Farius. I think that's one thing that I like. It's one thing I want to highlight in Singapore. there.
Hey, it seems like, in that Malaysia Singapore battle, there has been so many things to take note of. But the score doesn't lie. Singapore able to win it. It's out 5-2. Moving on though to the other round one matchup, we got Vietnam versus Philippines, 4-3 scoreline instead, and a little bit of a heartbreaker there for the PH. There's a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
that local bias here from our side, the PH side, but we
Yeah.
all know that Vietnam is one of the best, if not the best country
Mm-hmm.
in Southeast Asia itself to
Yeah.
really, what do you say, represent the region. They have such a strong Vietnamese community who all love StarCraft,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
all love to play the
Mm-hmm.
game. And for me, if Taiwan was just only part of the region here in, well, StarCraft, it's a little weird, right? Sometimes Taiwan is SCA, sometimes Taiwan isn't
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
SCA, but in StarCraft,
Uh,
Taiwan is with Hong Kong and all the like. So you gotta give it to Vietnam, the one kind of at the top in terms of population, in terms of skill, because you got your boy Mio Micah right there, just Simon and all the like. Those are some really
yeah.
good ones there. But looking at the results, Weibo, Ashen, Okas, and Jack Jones winning out for Vietnam. In the meantime, for Philippines, it's Nux, David Bain, the magician himself, and GLG taking those dubs. So Mr. Malapates
Bakuko.
and Ryu, anything to take notes. Anything to take note on that series.
You go first, Mr. Ryu. Kopyain lang ita.
Grabe. Well, not really sure kasi I'm more of a newer player. So, in terms of insight, less yung mga maibibigay ko. Pero, yeah, in that series, umasa talaga ako para sa Philippines.
Oo, kasi
Pero,
hindi tayo biased eh.
di tayo biased,
Hindi
but
tayo
this time I was
biased.
really rooting for the Philippines even though
Yeah,
I'm
me
really
too.
not biased, I promise.
Tama,
Yeah.
tama. No bias,
Yeah.
guys.
So anyway, just to give a quick wrap up, uh, Weibo versus Floki, arguably the number one Protoss in the Philippines. I think what lacks onto the side of that matchup is that Floki is not that experienced in playing tournaments. He is really
Mhm.
jittery. Like, when we are practicing, those are the plays that he usually reads, he usually defends. But yeah, during that tournament, things started to fall around onto the side of him. A lot of miss macro, a lot of questionable engagements onto his side. So yeah, Weibo getting that one. Next game would be Ashen one versus
Yeah,
Phoenix.
that's pretty
Mhm.
Phoenix,
pretty
yeah,
surprising. One of the
argue.
better Terran players there
Mhm.
in the PH scene, Mr. Vic. But yeah, Ashton, you gotta say, what did he do in that game to really bring it out against Phoenix?
Well, he caught Phoenix off guard with that Warp Prism all in with those zealots. So Phoenix did not scout it out really well. Like it really looks like at the beginning that Ashen would go for a standard macro play against Phoenix, but yeah, those additional four gates onto the mid game and those zealots and the Warp Prism zealot all in really killed Phoenix on that one. And the next game would be Lambdoy and Nux, which really is, according to Sinos, one of our premier players,
Hmm.
a lot of Terran players are really scared of Nux, the way he plays against Terrans. So it really he really showed us why you should be scared, man. For run buys at the same time, those really good creep spread, and overall just a dominating performance coming in from Nux. So that wraps up for our Masters players. And now on to the Diamond. Anything to add before we go for this
Yeah, Mr. Mizzle.
wrap up?
Mr. Mizzle, anything you can say about our Masters players there?
It's just that I think I was really saddened by the loss of Flo is the key. He wasn't expecting the BC, the battle cruisers. I
Mm,
think he made a lot of disruptors,
Hmm.
which is useless against battle cruisers. And then that's it.
yeah.
And then Phoenix, I think he went for a macro game, but didn't expect. I mean, I think it would be better if he harassed his opponent more than going macro. That's what I saw.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead, take away the
Yeah,
diamonds.
let's move on to the diamond side. David Bain, Ochos, GLG, Jack Jones. Winners there, 2-2 actually. So pretty even in the diamond department. So let's take it a game at a time because I believe Mr. Vic here has made a few clips of two
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
games
yeah,
here. So we're starting off
yeah.
with the magician David Bain versus Bropkey. So David Bain, you said something to me after the whole thing that David Bain
Hmm.
is better than he really is. And can you expound on that?
Yeah. Well, he's been really dominating the gold to diamond division. And ito
Agree.
na lang, magtatagalog na ako.
Mm,
Hindi siya diamond.
yeah.
2-0 niya si Bayagster. Tinalo niya si Saifem.
Oh no.
That ain't that ain't
Typem.
diamond level.
Then Diamond
Saifem.
11.
Sorry, coach. Did you? We were having practice games, and he defeated Bayagster 2-0. He defeated, I think, Alvin, and he also got a game against Saifem. And that is really not diamond level stuff. So things it is really questionable if you would let him join the diamond once again, because
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
making it official. I'm making it official. David Bain is no longer allowed to participate in Gold to Diamond division.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, David
well, but
Payne
He's
gets
really
called
good.
out.
He's really good.
but
I mean,
the thing is we can't really prove him that he is masters, because all of his accounts
yeah,
are really diamond. So unless maybe
yeah.
he has a secret Smurf, but I don't think so. Why would you exert your effort for a
Sandbag.
Smurf account?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I think the least we can say is he might be diamond right now, but his play isn't. So
yeah.
he should be getting out of diamond sooner, if not later.
Hmm. Well, the thing that I noticed last season was really, David Bain is 3 wins away from Masters rank, but he did not play it. Uh, so yeah, still consider diamond.
Yeah,
So
maybe it's a matter of time. Maybe it's a matter of him just not having the time to really grind. He gets there, but
yeah,
he's just
yeah, yeah.
unable to finish it. And it really just goes to
Hmm.
show sometimes we have such an amazing player like that who doesn't really have as much, what do you say, free time to dedicate themselves to the
Yeah, yeah.
StarCraft, but they have a lot of
Right.
potential. And from what
Hmm.
we've been seeing, David Bain has been able to show up in the first place. And as we all say, wouldn't be surprised to see him in Masters. But it's a big help for so many. That's a big help for the side of the Philippines, right? That you have such an amazing player like that in the diamond side, still technically. And even though we're I'd say David Bain still deserves to be diamond if he can't make it, because we still have that rule
Uh huh.
anyway that if you do win, you're not allowed the next time. So he's not really
Hmm.
farming anything per se, but just goes to
Uh
show
huh.
that
Uh huh.
this guy has a lot of potential, and that's what we see a lot in the gold to diamond, right? There's just so many
Hmm.
amazing players that can show up from time to time, and David Bain is just one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Especially when I'm practicing against the Protosses, like they have this thing called it's the standard of Malupit, because it's really out of the standard. Because I think Exo Blazer, the coach of the Philippine team on the last Southeast Asian Games, was really praising me a lot for being too unpredictable. Na I keep on doing stuff na I shouldn't do, but if it works, it works. So he even managed to defend it, even though it's the first time he has seen that kind of build order, according to him.
Uh,
So yeah, David Bain really uh, a generation of miracles kinds of talent.
right.
So,
I agree. I agree.
mhm.
Miracles can happen from missions or something like that. So next on the list is Ochos versus Skeletor. And for once, we actually have a clip right here to show off into
Yeah.
the stream. Give me a second to bring it all up. There you go. We're gonna be getting into it. And well, as we talked about earlier on, is the ABP guys, Ice Boy Productions. They do have an amazing thing called the soundboard right now, and this is what they did against a man from Vietnam that doesn't even know what the hell is going on.
Suggested a very special
Yeah,
song for
you
his
guys
Yeah.
be quiet.
intro. So, Mr. Ryu,
Let's
take it
listen to
away.
the
Sure.
audio.
Tugihin ang kita yo'y ocho 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 ocho
Oh,
ocho 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 naman ocho ocho
oh my god.
ocho ocho
So we've got the
All
purple
right.
Zerg Achos.
Oh,
All right. Thanks for Ochos for allowing us to.
what an intro! What an intro right there, guys! What an intro
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
So how did he feel? How did he feel after that one? That's the question. How did he feel seeing an amazing intro just like that?
Well, what really happened was it was Lamdoy versus Nux. Well, we're showing that game. Our Marshal, Coach Dante
Mhm.
Castillo or Dantuts, and Mizzle was talking about something on the Twitch chat, and suddenly I think Mizzle requested to Ochos that you should check out Ocho Ocho. It's a Filipino song, and it all boiled down to Acho saying that, "Hey, I want this song to be my intro. I allow you
Yeah.
guys to do it." So, good interactions coming in from the community per se, but yeah, good jobs to our IS boy moderators Mizel and Dante, and tournament officials too.
Yeah.
And also, shoutouts for Ryu for adding that production value onto our arsenal from the IS boy
Koblihin
group.
ang mis
Oh
On the
my god,
fly, on the
on the
fly, right?
fly, ready to go, that kind of thing, and I love it too. I love it too. So,
Mm.
but talking about the game itself, what happened? It was a good start, a good intro, but what went on? How did Ocho do the Ocho Ocho just dance on the grave of Skeletor basically, and show up? What
Yeah.
happened in that match?
Yeah.
Well, Acho went with a really aggressive opening, that Roach Ravager rush, and he kind of read the play of Skeletor. The thing about ZVT is that if you go with a lot of a lot of Hellions, and you have Roaches, the thing is that Terran doesn't have a lot to defend on their base if those Hellions are taken down. So yeah, Ocho is taking advantage of the situation of a misread coming in on the side of Skeletor. So good win for Team Vietnam on that matchup.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we go on to the next game, and I've been informed we're gonna have a special guest after we wrap up this parts of the talk. We'll just finish up in Vietnam versus Philippines, because next one there is GLG actually winning it out,
Oh.
and I believe you have
Mhm.
another clip here ready to go. I don't know why. I don't know what it is all about. So let's go into it and let's play it real quick.
Well,
We're going. Give
all
me some
right, all
context.
right.
Give me some context before we play this clip.
Well, while we are practicing, I will go back to my point earlier that I asked the players what kind of music do they want for their intros,
Okay.
and Gleg is like having a creative mind. Uh, he wants the river flows in you,
Mm-hmm.
the piano,
Uh huh.
but I said, man, that's not allowed. That's not hyped up. And then yeah, he went with that music instead,
Okay.
and it and it was really fun.
Yeah, so let's give it a play real quick. Oops, no audio. Can't work it without. Oh my god.
Wait, it doesn't have audio.
No, it's okay. I fixed it.
and on and, and on to the bottom
I
left
feel like I watched the
corner
wrong
of
thing.
Pillars of Gold LE. Now fighting for Team Vietnam. Can he secure Yeah. this
Yeah. It was...
win for Vietnam for them to advance onto the semifinals? We've got the Orange Pro.
Okay, I love it. I love it. So we just got basically rickrolled, guys. We just got rickrolled
No.
in a podcast stream, and Gleg right there showing up to make it to
Uh-huh.
happen. So why is his name Anak ni Bakuko in the game? It's a different Smurf or something like that.
Well, actually, just to give a little bit of backstory, Exo Blazer, the coach of the Philippine team on Southeast Asian Games, kind of scolded us na bakit pangalan mo anak ni Bakuko, you're representing the Philippines, blah 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 blah. Tapos
Ooh,
biglang nalipat sa akin, isa ka pa, go Bilam.
wala.
So, anak ni Bakuko is a rapper from the 90s.
I s-
Yeah.
I see.
So yeah, hip hop culture.
I
And
didn't know that.
yeah, and don't ask about my username.
Okay.
So
Oh my god, wait. Did we get a new person into the channel? Because it messed up the whole overlay again. Oh, Discord.
yeah,
Discord
yeah, yeah.
window capture. Worst thing, best thing at the same time. So what's the
Okay.
plan? Okay, I'm gonna either I adjust it or you guys Okay, there you go.
Wait,
There you go. So what happened there?
I did it.
Yeah, let's well, when we get a new guest in, then let's antawag dito. Let's get one guy out for so for now, maybe after this we can have Rio out and our special guest into the
Okay.
casting channel here. But to wrap things up, Jack Jones winning it over, tying things up 2-2 in the end. And at the very least, it was a very competitive side there from the Philippines, especially on the gold to diamond. What happened in that game, and any closing thoughts to wrap up the whole discussion there?
Well, Subi has been my practice partner for the longest time already, and he's really struggling against PvPs, especially with those proxy stargates or that stargate
Mhm.
opening coming in from the Protoss, especially the oracles. He kind of miscounted that one, and those oracles just wreak havoc on his mineral line, losing around I think 12 to 14 probes, and that put him behind the whole entirety of their matchup. So still a good effort coming in from G Boy, but
Yeah.
a better performance coming in from Jack Jones.
Yeah, so it really feels like it was so very close there for the Philippines, but just a little too far to get off there. And in the end, it's Singapore and Vietnam gonna be meeting in the semifinals tomorrow, and then it is Malaysia versus Philippines. So before we get our special guest on, I do want to ask Mr. Ryu, who's been kind of on the quiet side, can't get on camera and all that things. Any predictions going into SG versus Vietnam and Malaysia versus Philippines? As the analyst side of ABP. We gotta drop those knowledge, gotta drop what's going on. And what do you think? Who might be able to eke it out into our next upcoming games?
May caster's curse yan. Wag mo
Hindi,
sabihin
okay
Oh,
lang.
na.
It
why?
doesn't work.
Caster's
Caster's Curse
Curse.
doesn't work if you're not casting the game itself. It's only that's why
Ah,
you
yeah.
don't say
Ah,
anything during the game because you can jinx it there. But predictions are a whole different ballpark. So yeah, Rio, give me some knowledge, especially after a great weekend.
Well, in that case, since I'm not biased, I'm going with Philippines.
Mm.
Although, do we already know if Mia Micah will be playing?
I mean,
Because the strats they pulled out during the round robin was pretty scary. Multiple times, Malupete and I were like, what's he doing? And then
Hindi,
he ended up
hindi yan
dumpstering.
yung sinabi namin, pero a little bit lang.
Yeah, but is this normal? And then he ended up
yeah.
winning heavily against the opponent. And on to Singapore, I think I'm also rooting for Singapore, especially we noted during the round robin, not just because you're going as the fourth seed, it's over. That's also an additional chip onto your shoulder that I think they really used.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Singapore using that motivation. From what I've seen, though, the teams are pretty evenly matched, and the seeding didn't really matter per se. And Singapore showing us fourth seed power from the get go, beating out Malaysia 5-2. But thank you, Ryu, for your time. Well, let's get our new special guest in after everything. Mr. Mizzle, can we fix that one up?
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you, Ryu. I hope if you're still available
Bye bye
later, we
bye.
can have you even more because this setup is only for four and this will explode if we go with even more. Not gonna
All
lie,
right,
it
all right.
already looked like it was gonna pop. But there, that is just basically a little bit of recap of what we've done so far. And into getting our guest on over, you may be able to drag him now. He is, well, Mr. Mizzle, you can introduce him yourself. Go ahead. Who is our first special guest?
Okay, so our first special guest is the guy from Singapore. He's very friendly. He's very helpful to. I mean, like whenever the other guys are not online, he's the guy to talk to. He will coordinate with them and stuff like that. So please welcome our friendly Singaporean, Nameless.
Yes, sir. We are gonna
Yeah,
have
nameless.
Nameless in. And hello, Nameless. Are you there? Hello, hello, hello.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, it's Nameless. Hello.
What's up?
Congratulations and welcome yet again. Your team moves on to the semifinals in the Southeast Asia League. And it was a pleasure to follow you around in that same morning. So, ESL in the morning, afternoons,
Yeah.
SEAL. How did it feel going back to back like that and really setting it up for Singapore?
Yeah, I think it's pretty tiring considering I had to wake up quite early for the DreamHack tournament. Yeah, but I think it's been a pleasure to just be casting the C region itself. Just having like a regional friendly competition just happening is just great. I think.
Yeah, it's lovely. And I want to ask, how if were you the one who made the Singapore team, and how did you guys form up as a nation there?
Yeah, so I think we usually have a Singapore Discord on our site, a Discord server. So I think it was pretty easy for me to just be finding players. Yeah, and I think we have quite a lot of diamonds and master player. We have quite a lot of diversity. So I think it's pretty simple for me to just be finding players from
Yeah.
Singapore.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool, and you guys got a number of new names. In all honesty, I was very surprised when I first looked at the team. We don't see the usual Protoss players. We don't have the likes of Blisk in it. At least we have Cyclone or the
Yeah.
like. We have Leo
Mm-hmm.
Rusher. So
Mm-hmm.
those are of course mainstays in the HG scene. Because as I keep saying, it's like Nameless is that guy who just wants to be different and play Zerg, and everyone else is
Yeah.
like Protoss, 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 Protoss. Not gonna lie, like 70% of you guys in the Masters Plus in SG is Protoss. You got your Terrans, you got your Zergs. You know, I remember like Dark and Pure, of course, Lazy Titan, who are both here in your reserve list. And you know, I gotta ask, why don't you guys have your Protoss score? Is it they're just not available, or did you just want to represent a little bit different this time in Southeast Asia League?
Yeah, so unfortunately, because usually we have like the three strongest Protosses in Singapore.
Yeah,
It's namely Psycho, Lobo,
and
and
this,
Bliss.
yeah, exactly.
But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yep.
Uh-huh.
So unfortunately, Lobo and Bliss they're kind of busy with their work and stuff, so they aren't able to be joining us on CU. So instead, we got some amazing master players like in the roster just to join us for this CU league.
And it's lovely you guys were able
Yeah.
to form up like that. And you did an impressive job there. But before we mention again Singapore versus Malaysia, I gotta ask you, since you
Mhm.
were also one of the casters for the Southeast Asia League. Of course, we have our official broadcast on the PH side, but we do welcome every
Mhm.
single nation doing it. How was it just, watching your
Mm-hmm.
team perform in front of you? Did it feel exciting? Do you have the little SG bias? Let's go! And everyone has that full nation bias there. But in all honesty, how was it following the Southeast Asia League last weekend?
Yeah, honestly, like I think it was such. It's been a pleasure to be just casting my own country. It's just
Mm-hmm.
really good. And on top of all these, the last Saturday was also Sunday, right? Yeah, last Sunday was also a special day for Singapore. It's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
Singapore's birthday, 55th birthday.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
International Day.
that,
yeah. So I actually right after Singapore got its fourth point, like from game six, right? Yeah, I just felt so happy. Like we were able to
Mm.
take a win on Singapore's birthday.
uh,
So
I
yeah,
love it. Dedicating it
really good.
to the country, beating out against Malaysia, and many surprise. If you look at the bracket, you see a fourth seed, 5-2, the first seed. That's pretty impressive. So we gotta ask, anything you guys did a little different from your seeding placements to the group stage? Anything you guys did over the weekend there to set up and allow yourselves to get into the semifinals?
Yeah. So I think honestly for this competition, because I have like so many players. Like we are full on the reserves on both the masters and diamond players. So I think our objective in this tournament is to just allow everyone to have exposure, like tournament in a tournament setting. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like everyone gets to play. Yeah. So I think my main priority is to just get everyone in the team, and whether they are main or reserves, to be playing at least one match each.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love you guys are able to do so much together, that you guys are really bringing it as one. And looking at that 5-2 scoreline, any favorite games you might remember from from that that quarterfinal, basically, to mention into this podcasting?
Yeah, I think the one game that I was really like it's still in my mind. I think was the Dark Void versus Claire game. I think it was rather intense from both sides. It was back and forth. Then eventually led into like mass BCs versus mass Tors and stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like like many actions around the map. I think it was great casting that match as well.
Beck versus Beck, and here Malapate telling me it has around a half an hour affair, so you can probably set up some dominoes and still the game wouldn't be over. And it just goes to show how fun that one can truly be. Good TVT there between SG versus Malaysia, but you guys are going to be facing off against Vietnam next. And anything worth mentioning, anything you might need to prepare for, especially if they bring out even the bigger guns here. The Vietnam, we all know, is probably one of the strongest countries in SCA, especially when how big they
Yeah.
are. But it's a tough task for y'all. And if you guys want to make it the grand finals, then you guys have to beat them. So what's the plan coming into this weekend?
Yeah, so honestly, I think Vietnam is a really strong team overall. They have like really good master players, and I think even diamond players are really good as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, I think we almost have, I think almost a full new roster of master players this time around with Leo Russia, Dark Impure, and CXO joining us on this Saturday. So I think there's gonna be a lot. I'm gonna be expecting a lot for them from them. Yeah, because I think for the Vietnamese players, they're used to playing Psycho, Blisk. They haven't seen all these new players before, so it's gonna be a surprise for them in terms of how they play and the strategies and stuff.
Yeah, I can tell that when you see SG's like, oh, I got ready for Protoss. Nah, here we go with the Terrans, here we go with the Zergs. And this is just a little bit out of nowhere, which does a lot of work there. Now, I gotta ask my two fellow hosts right here. Any questions we got for Nameless, Mizzle, Mullipate?
Me first. So Nameless. How are you still open for another Seal series?
Ooh.
Yeah, honestly, I think if this one's really successful, I mean, I'm always open to just having like expanding Seal even like to even more countries because unfortunately we only could get like 4 countries in
Yeah.
this season because of because we don't really know on like
What's
the
gonna
other
happen?
Sea regions. Yeah, like we don't know if they have enough players to just feud in. So yeah, I would love to have like another season of Seal. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good,
Because
good.
originally,
Mhm.
yeah. Because originally we should have like 5 teams, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Bayer Lee from Thailand backed out because I think they can't commit for no, they can't commit around the schedule we have for August.
Yeah.
Understandable. And I gotta say though that so far with these 4 pioneer teams, we're gonna have a really good proof of concept to show off to the other Southeast Asian nations that hey, you guys want in, we can be able to get them. We can bring in like Indonesia, Thailand, as you say, might even go all the way to Taiwan, maybe even Hong Kong if ever we can count them in because they're
Asia.
yeah, it depends on the game. Okay, I don't know myself. I don't know myself. Sometimes Taiwan is SCA. Sometimes I think it's because of the
Yeah, yeah,
Pacific.
yeah.
It's more Pacific basically. So
Right.
maybe you can make it the peel instead of the seal. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Just more competition right there. But there are just so many different nations that we can represent here. Might even get some of the lesser known ones, some of the more low key ones, and surprise, surprise, help them grow their scenes there. How about you, Malpate? Any
Yeah, yeah.
question for Nameless?
Well, Mr. Nameless, do you have
Yeah.
anything to say against your Vietnamese counterparts going into the matchup tomorrow? Maybe a few of to make it a little bit more dramatic, maybe you have something for them to say.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think even though they might be a really strong team from the start, but I think all of my players, like the Masters player, the Diamond players, I'm pretty sure they all done like some customs and prepare some certain build order or something just to be like ready for the Saturday's match tomorrow. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to just be casting and watching them duke it out.
Yeah, I can't
So
wait.
you've heard it from Mr. Singapore himself. Vietnam, you better be ready.
Oh, no.
Singapore is waiting for you
Oh my.
onto that semifinal
Oh
matchup.
my.
So
Yeah.
uh,
That's kind of scary. So, how about you, Nameless? We asked a while ago, Rio, any predictions for our next coming matches, Singapore and Vietnam, and Philippines versus Malaysia? What do you think? What do you think is going to be the scores for those 2 matches tomorrow?
Yeah, so I think honestly, it's definitely gonna be a close match. It's gonna be scrappy. It's gonna be like 1-on-1. It's gonna be even all the way until game 7. But I really believe like in my team. to win, to come on top after on game 7. So I predict the score is gonna be 4-3 for tomorrow's Singapore versus Vietnam games.
Ooh, oh,
Oh,
I mean that's confidence
You.
right there.
cheesy.
God's
Yeah.
confidence, the SG side. So we should get a Vietnam rep here to counter this one out. But in a more unbiased setup, Philippines versus Malaysia. Maybe any thoughts right there, especially after you've seen how Malaysia plays, how you guys were able to win it out. So
Yeah.
what do you think on the lower card there, on the lower brackets?
Yeah, and also I'll be playing
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah,
So.
this guy's playing tomorrow. That's something. So what you think, Nameless? Anything you notice about our fellow countries, Philippines, Malaysia, that might have one of them getting the edge over the other?
Mhm.
Yeah, honestly, I think the one of the players that really interests me was is Nux, because I think he came
Yeah.
from, yeah, I think initially maybe on the start of last year he wasn't really the number one player that you think of when you're thinking of Philippines. But I think currently I think he's doing well in DreamHack, even though he didn't qualify, he's doing really well. So yeah, I think the player to look out for is definitely Nux. And I think for on the Malaysia side, I think Nefarious actually,
Mm.
since he has some uni commitments previously, but I think I have been seeing him playing more custom games like with other players, and he also was the Sea Games Malaysia representative
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely like honestly, I hope there would be a game of Nefarious versus Nuts. Although
Mhm.
yeah, I don't really know what's the lineup. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope to see both of them just took it out
Um,
on tomorrow's
That'd be
game.
interesting because when you say that DVT of Nux one's the scariest, really to deal with, as
Uh-huh.
these two can attest. And the real story about Nux, guys, is now that he has more time to dedicate into StarCraft, he is doing so well into it. It reminds you of when
Mhm.
he started things off in his career, when he was able to dedicate time as well like this, and as we said, almost making it to the ESL ANC champs, very very close, but not cigar. But it really goes to show how much impressions he's made in SEA, actually beating the likes of Ender in our local scene from time to time. Like we said,
Yeah, yeah.
like when saying quarantine, even it was like who gets the odd numbered ones, who gets the even numbered ones. These guys just split
Yeah.
it in the middle, and it just goes to show
Mhm.
that we are not just a one player country anymore. We're getting a
Yeah.
bigger and better scene thanks to all of these, and hopefully through the Southeast Asia League that we can bring that same experience to the region. Because I remember back then there's a little bit of a story because when we started out the quarantine series and people were asking why can't the Southeast Asia countries join us, we were like, no, this is for our local scene to grow. And you doing these kind of things are our way to bridge that, to finally get into that. And it's up to you guys also to, of course, make your local scenes better. But at the same time, we will
Uh-huh.
find a way to bring it all together. And if this can help you guys out, then it's an even better scene. We'll get more representation. Maybe we'll finally be away from ANZ. Come on, ESL.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Give us our own slot for those
Um,
things? Question mark.
Mhm.
But yeah,
yeah.
Right.
it's gonna be all for fun. And gotta ask you, Nameless, one last thing. Unless these guys have anything else, anything you want to say here on the stream about not only SEA but just in StarCraft in general.
Yeah, so I don't really think I have a lot of things to say, but just mainly for SEU, I think everyone has been putting a lot of effort, like for all the 4 countries, like Justice Simon, Mio Micah, Neutrals, and even Mizo himself. All of us like have been putting like a lot of effort to just make things work, and the scheduling and all the artworks and stuff. I know all this is pretty difficult to just make and stuff. So yeah, like props to Mizo for just handling all the back end stuff, like the admin and stuff. Yeah, like just to, yeah, I think overall this after this U League, hopefully we could like promote the C region even more.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I can't wait for that. And I do think, do we have anything else for Nameless? I think we're taking so much of his time. He still has to prepare for tomorrow alongside many. And anything you guys want to say to Nameless before he may hop on out?
Well, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm also good.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Nameless.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, what's
Uh,
up?
Thank you,
all right.
I guess
Nameless.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before I leave, yeah. So I just wanna like make some announcement because tomorrow, like after Sea League is done, like on Saturday, I think it's 5 p.m. we are gonna be starting our Singapore Online fourth
Oh
edition.
yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
a good.
Yeah.
Let me plug that for you. So guys, don't forget that the Singapore side, we have the quarantine, the PH, then they have that the
Uh-huh.
SC2 online, the SG online right there, hosted by Red Gunner guy, if I believe. He started that thing off, and it has gotten so much attention in the Singapore scene. They've had 3 successful editions so far, and they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be having the fourth one tomorrow at 5 p.m. So Nameless, where can we catch that one after SEAL?
Yeah, so everything will be streamed live on Red Gunner Guy's channel. And I am going to be playing with Dark Impure for the lower brackets final, and Leo Rusher is going to be waiting for either one of us on the upper bracket finals. Yeah,
Mhm.
so if you guys want to see some Singapore scene in action, just check out Red
We
Gunner
will
Guy's
be
channel.
there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, of
You'll
Yeah.
course.
get.
We'll be there
We'll
to
head on
support you
out
guys.
after Southeast Asia League. So thank you, Nameless, for everything you've done, not only for Singapore but also for the Seal. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you later for more action and more representation of each nation. Have a good night, mates. And hey, it was a pleasure to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
brother.
Yeah.
thank you everyone for having me. So yeah,
Okay.
goodbye.
Good to yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Goodbye.
so okay, guys, that was Nameless from Singapore, and now my question here is, what's the plan? Do we have any more guests? Anything else we need to talk about for the Southeast Asia League? And let's look into. I'm gonna ask you real quick our schedule for tomorrow. What is gonna be happening first? Is it the semifinal or is it the lower brackets matchup?
Tomorrow will be wait, sorry. Tomorrow will be semifinals first
Uh huh.
before the lower brackets.
Okay, so
Am I
Mm-hmm.
correct?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think you're correct. You're the
Yeah.
commissioner. You're the one who's supposed to know these answers. That's why I'm
Uh,
throwing it to you. I mean, I know the answer, but
y-
we're trying to make it like
yeah.
I was like, But
Yeah.
Singapore
Yeah.
versus Vietnam to start things off at 2 p.m. Am I correct? We're gonna be
Yes.
getting into that
Correct.
first lobby, and then we're gonna be breezing through the next 6 games after that one. And once we're done there, we'll be looking into Malaysia versus Philippines as well, so we can get the best broadcast on. And on a Sunday, we will start things off with lower bracket round number 2, of course, whoever loses in the semifinal,
Uh-huh.
and then
Mm-hmm.
whoever is going to be waiting on in the grand finals. Is there any advantage? Is there anything, that the upper bracket team gets, or is it just going to be a slobber knocker kind of thing there, Mizzle?
Okay, so for the grand finals, each team will be removing one diamond player. So that will leave them 6 players only. And then the winner of the semifinals will get an automatic 1 point, one winning point for the grand finals. So that means, yeah, they secured already 1 point. They just need 3 more wins
Yeah.
to win the grand finals. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's
Oh.
3 masters and 3 gold to diamonds there because one matchup
Correct.
is already won by our upper bracket seed. And sadly, we don't have any prizes here for the seal, but we have amazing action for you all. Both broadcasts will start at 2 p.m. GMT plus 8, which is what? Let's any time zones there. I think we're an hour ahead of
Uh.
Vietnam. We're same as Singapore and Malaysia,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's for sure. And if you're all the way
Mm-hmm.
in the East Coast, that's 2 a.m. All the way in the West Coast, that's
Mhm.
11 p.m. The previous day, that kind of thing. And we just want to give
Mm-hmm.
a shout out to everyone who's been tuning in to the Southeast Asia League so far. But there's one thing we
Yeah.
gotta say that's different for tomorrow. It's where we're gonna be broadcasting because, Mr. Malapate, what are you doing tomorrow? Parang busy ka. Ang gagawin mo bukas?
Well, I would be representing the Philippines tomorrow, not as a broadcaster anymore, but as a player.
Exactly.
So, with my non-biased words, Lawan Pilipinas! Let's
Okay,
go!
okay. So I gotta ask you, Vic. There's one thing that usually happens when you play, and could you enlighten the audience on what happens there usually?
Well, whoever defeats me on the tournament usually makes it to the podium. So I would not be losing tomorrow.
So make it that the Philippines makes it to the podium.
Wow.
Big
Yeah.
smarts, big smarts.
Uh,
Treasure also. Yeah.
That's amazing,
so
and that means I'm gonna be back to broadcast. I know you guys
Yeah.
are sick
mhm.
and tired of me already, but here we go again. Another weekend here at Twitch.tv/PH. It was a fun idea to do this live chat session. Next time we'll add more things. This is very impromptu, in all honesty. And
Uh-huh.
hopefully when we do
Yeah.
this, we got those video clips on because it feels like it's a little bit of the part we're missing, but it has been an absolute pleasure so far. Now here for the Philippine side, I gotta ask you two guys: do you have an idea who else is playing tomorrow, or are we keeping that hush hush to surprise maybe Team Malaysia?
Um, I think we can. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I think we
Tactics.
can already tell them. Yeah, I mean, we can already tell them who will be playing tomorrow. Um, okay. For tomorrow, do I have to tell? I mean,
Mhm.
okay, fine. For Malaysia, one one of the greatest players in Malaysia is Ranger. He will be playing tomorrow.
Ooh, we're gonna get
Oh.
Ranger in. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
against who?
Uh,
Against who?
against Sue? Against
Uh,
Sue?
against will be
Malupit? Is
sorry.
it
Ranger will
Malupit?
be
No.
uh will be playing against Saipem.
Oh, the coach
Oh.
versus the man of the hour. That's gonna be pretty interesting right there.
Uh,
That's a really good matchup, and that's already a really good tease for tomorrow. So again, guys, that is 2 p.m. GMT +8. We're probably gonna start on time. Don't worry about it. There are no other tournaments in
uh,
the morning. We'll get into our
Correct.
first game, and we'll have 3 Master Plus matchups and 4 Diamond and under matchups for you as of yet. It's a best of 7, but we'll do everything. We'll broadcast every single matchup so you guys can get an idea of the player base there. But I gotta say, guys, this is pretty fun, and we already know what to do into the next one if need be. And this has been the Southeast Asia League live chat session. I've been Dax, and joining me today has been DLS Missile as well as Malapates. And before we go, guys, anything you guys want to say to the audience here?
well, I want to plug my sponsors.
Fita.
No, no, not Fita and nor seasoning. My cousin, who is a Twitch partner, check his Twitch out. Pogi, yeah,
Okay,
it runs in the blood.
okay,
We have
you should
we
spell
have
that.
funny
You should
usernames.
spell the username so people can actually know where to
It's
go.
POGII. It's my cousin. So we really have cute usernames. My name is Melopate. His Pogi. Also shout outs to Vape Central
Oof,
in Teachers Village.
look at that. Look
Sponsors.
at those sponsors. Pahingi naman ng maginhawa sponsors there, Mr. Vic. Can I get a milk tea sponsor? Can I get Black Scoop? Yesterday I was like plugging Black Scoop like a little bitch. I don't know even why. But how about you, Missile? Anything you want to say before we head on out?
Um, I just want to invite everyone tomorrow to support us. We will be live at twitch.tv/daxph. Also, if you guys want to play StarCraft, just join us in facebook.com/StarCraftPH.
Yeah.
You know where to find us. What
Uh-huh.
else? I think that's it for now.
Yes, sir.
Ako may last pa ako. May
Go lang,
last.
boss.
Yeah.
Shout outs to my friend Jelay Malencio. Support her business. It's
Okay.
Maria's Munchies. It's really good.
Oh,
Ooh,
link
Cookies siya.
link
Yan lang.
please.
yeah.
Wag na. T-shirts nyo. Sige, sige.
And
Anyway,
anyway,
that's it.
that should
That's it from my side.
that should be it for us today. You guys want to check out more? Then just look for StarCraft PH, of course,
Mhm.
into your socials. We only have a Facebook right now, if I remember correctly. You have that official Facebook
Yeah.
page, so you guys can head on over. It's been there for almost a decade. Probably no,
Almost a
no, no joke
decade.
lang. It has been a decade and
Yeah,
8 days.
it is. It is.
It has
It
been
is.
Mhm.
something like that.
Since
Some
2010.
something like that. Twins 2010. The URL is facebook.com/ph starcraft. Again, it's ph starcraft. And hey, August 11th. So we had our 10th anniversary for the page 3 days ago.
Mhm.
Pretty cool, pretty
Yeah.
cool. And we are going to be celebrating here. It's been the 10th anniversary of StarCraft
Uh,
itself, new achievements to unlock, new skins, and all the like, and of course, a whole new ballpark of the ladder to continue on. But we are going to be getting into 2 matches tomorrow,
last, last,
guys.
last,
Go ahead.
last. The VODs last weekend is now available at youtube.com/iosboy
Yes, sir.
productions.
So you
Oh,
got your pods there as well. And if you guys want to see those individual matches, you know where to go. So that's gonna be it from us here. Remember, 2 p.m. GMT +8. We start things off with Singapore versus Vietnam, and once that's done, we go into Philippines versus Malaysia. We'll figure out when we can do this again. This is fun, and I do believe we have a lot of things to discuss if ever we do this into the next one. But this has been Dax. Joining me has been Commissioner Missile and player/caster Malapate right there, as we had Ryu a while ago, the Ayos Buhay production crew. And from us to you, we'll see you guys in the Seal Southeast Asia League. Look at that logo. It looks like a seal. I honestly thought we'd get the animal there, but that works too. And thank you guys for tuning in
No.
today on our pretty impromptu live chat session. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Good night.